Andersen.
All right, guys, it's time to start this video. I don't really know what I'm doing yet, but let's get into it. Hopefully this can help somebody in the future. You ever have that moment when you realize you don't know what the hell you're doing? It's one of those moments. Come with me and let's discover how to do this properly together. So working on the good old C36 tonight. I have the water pump I've been sitting on and it needs to be done. And I don't want to wait any longer. This thing deserves it. I want to drive it. And it's really the last little hindrance that's going to keep me from driving this as we continue to fix everything else with it. So it's a tight squeeze. I just figured out this whole kind of fan cover comes off. It separates into two pieces. At first I only detached this front piece, which you pull this out after pressing in its little pinch clip. Pull this out, you can slide this or rotate this front part off, and that will detach from this back plate. And then this back plate is held on by these little I don't know what you call these, slide clips, and attaches this front plastic cover to the rad here in the front. So yeah, should be able to get that out of the way, and then with that out of the way, should be able to get to the tensioner, take off the belt, and just kind of slowly work our way through this. This may be in two parts, don't really know, but we'll see how far we can get tonight, and you may be seeing this the next day, or maybe you'll see it later. But anyways, let's figure this out together. I've been sitting on it, like I said, for way too long. It's time to get this done. All right, guys, well, hopefully I'm in the whole frame right now. You can see what's going on, but I'm just gonna slowly kind of make my way through this. I'll update you guys with some important details as we go, as always. But yeah, gotta get moving, no other way. So that little clip I already had done. It's literally just like a pinch clip, like I said. And my thought is, from looking at it, is put that behind the fan, so on that side, and then hopefully this other part will just kind of slide up. And yeah, that's what it does. And then it gets stuck at the top. But, all right, almost got it. Being gentle. Okay, so there is the back piece, or the piece closest to the radiator. And then basically it's like a puzzle. Front little piece now can be pulled up, I assume. Let me get this out of the way. The little hose for the expansion tank is going to be in your way a little bit. All right, that is out. I feel like I'm holding like a shark jaw or something. Da, 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 da. Okay, so there's the two pieces. If you guys didn't get what I was saying, that little push clip right there, that's what it looks like. And basically just push that back, and then you're able to slide this, rotate it left or right. It literally says open or close on it, so fairly straightforward, fairly intuitive. Okay, next up, where the tensioner is. I can tell you guys right now, and reading online, it's kind of hilarious hearing the stories of people doing this job. They're basically like, you better have a cooler close by, and you better pray you have small hands. But I don't have a cooler close by. My hands aren't the smallest, so wish me luck. But it's gonna be a tight squeeze regardless. So I'm probably gonna be using a mirror, trying to find out where the tensioner bolt exactly is, and trying to get around the fan is going to be tricky as well. So we're going to need all the help we can get. Alright, so bringing you guys in for a closer look. It looks like the tensioner assembly, it's right there, that lower one. It looks like it's a style where it's held on with a kind of Allen key and nut combination. So when you put the nut on it, when you put the socket on the nut, it should be able to turn without, loosening things up. And from what I heard, you turn it clockwise, not counterclockwise. That makes sense because you're probably, putting pressure on the nut that's already tightened, going clockwise. The way you would loosen it, I would assume, is by putting a Allen key in the middle and turning it left. So we'll see. I don't know for sure. This is a car where it's kind of filled with a bit of wizardry because not many people document things on this car. So that said, however, one person does, and I want to give him a huge shout out right now. John's DIY Benz channel is incredible. He has his own C36, and like there has been at least 10 times up to this point where I'm just randomly searching, like fingers crossed, I hope there's a video for this on the C36. I hope there's a video for, and his videos always pop up. He has like the most clutch little quick DIY videos. They're just like down and dirty of showing how to do things and a few instructions here and there. And yeah, big shout out to you, John. Thank you so much for all the help with your videos and what they provide. It's awesome. I hope that I can return the favor in some way by documenting stuff on this car for the YouTubes. But let's keep going. All right, you guys, good news. The 15mm socket does in fact fit, and I got it on the breaker bar and confirmed. Turning it clockwise releases tension off the belt. So we should be able to get this thing off of here. All right, belt is off. Let me bring you guys in for a close look before we take it all the way off, for my memory's sake and for you guys' visuals. All right, guys, so it looks like it loops around down here at the alternator. It's going around this little guider, idler pulley. Goes over on the smooth side. The fan clutch goes around the, what is the water pump? Goes around the power steering pump, goes down below the AC compressor, and does it go? And it goes in between. Wow, that is a tight squeeze between the power steering and the tensioner. Oh, it's a tight squeeze right now because there's no tension on it. But yeah, goes smooth side on tensioner. So pretty easy routing for memory's sake. And I'll find a diagram and maybe pop it up for you guys as well, because they're not too hard to find for the M104 or for any car for that matter. But it's always nice to at least get a visual. And something you can do is make yourself a drawn diagram too, if you don't want to rely on the interwebs. But we should be good. Let me try to get this belt off and go from there. Yeah, it's nice the way that it's routed. They obviously did that for a reason. It doesn't have to go like loop around the clutch fan. So you could take the fan off, and in fact I may need to regardless for this. I probably do, because the fins are in the way of the water pump, but for the time being I don't. So didn't realize it was going around the crank pulley too. I probably should have told you guys that. That's an important one. Alright, hope I'm not kicking myself in the leg right now by having pulled the belt off. I have a feeling the fan is going to have to come off. And it was probably easier to take the fan off when the belt was on. Am I shooting myself in the foot right now? Maybe. Watching more of your videos, John. Told you guys. Comes in clutch. Everything I need right here. Alright, I gotta learn how to take this fan clutch off. Luckily, it looks like he took the belt off first, so let me see how to remove this thing. Alright guys, well, after doing a bit more digging and spelunking, I know how to do it, but you need some special tools to be able to remove the fan clutch itself, which I don't really have right now. There is a designated Mercedes-Benz part tool, which you can make your own out of 6mm rod, kind of a fancy bend to hold the clutch in place and be able to get to, taking it off. There's an 8mm hex bolt in front, and there are 3 5mm hex bolts that hold the fan onto the clutch, I think. So in theory, if I could get those 3 5mm bolts off, I think that the fan comes off. I'm gonna ask some questions to some buddies who are more experienced with this than I in the morning, and should have an answer, or I'll be able to make a tool run to grab what I need. The Mercedes part for the fancy wrench is like 01589000100, something like that. It's like $120, and it's literally just a piece of metal bent into a shape. So I'm definitely not buying that. I will make my own out of 6mm rod or something close to it. Might be another way I can get around this. So I'm gonna pause this right here, and I will be back to you guys hopefully with some better tools and some better answers. Check you soon. What's going on, you guys? Welcome back. It's the next night. It's a little bit late, so I don't know how much I'm gonna get done tonight, but I do have a lot to fill you guys in on as far as info goes, and wanted to check a few things out before we probably call it a little bit early. Today, went and stopped by Harbor Freight. I grabbed just a longer set of Allens, which you see here, to take off the fan blade. It is sitting over here. There are 3 5mm Allens that hold it into place, and I did this just because I didn't really want to have to fish around and take the whole fan clutch off for no reason right now, since I really just wanted to be able to get to the water pump pulley right here if need be, which looks like I will have to at some point. So let me get a light and I will talk to you guys about what I know as far as what needs to come off and how it's going to do so, and yeah. Alright, so I've been watching a lot of videos from different people on just what exactly people typically do to get to all of the 4 bolts on these water pumps, because they're kind of a pain, to be honest. There are 2 up top. I guess we can look at the new one so I can show you guys exactly where, but it's funny, I feel like there's so many videos of this just because it's such a pain to do. So there is 2 on the bottom there, and then 2 up top. One there kind of by my palm, but these bottom 2 especially, and this top right corner I guess, are the most painful of all of them. They're just hard to get to, and they're 6mm Allens. I'm actually considering, once I get everything off, if I want to go get new hardware and just put regular hex head bolts on them, because I feel like that might be easier to get sockets in there versus Allen keys. It's always a bit scary using Allen bolts in a scenario like that, because I just feel like they're a lot easier to strip if you don't get a good hold on them. So we'll see once we get everything out and see how it looks, but yeah, for the most part right now I need to drain the radiator. I start pulling off all the hoses. There's this one, lower one, and then, you know, just get everything I can get out of my way, and then I will start on those 4 bolts. Like I said, don't know how much I'll get going tonight, but can at least do that. Sensors need to come off, obviously. Take anything else you need to get out of your way. I'll show you guys whatever I end up with, but yeah, just jumping into it. All right, you guys, for the time being, another interesting find with a serpentine belt. Before I had the car, actually, when I was going to pick it up from California, I brought this with me, you know, just in case. I didn't know what kind of condition the belt was in. The belt that's on it is a Contitech. It's a 6BK 2225, and it's made in UK, and it's actually in really good shape. I wouldn't be surprised if this is like fairly new, so I'll probably just continue to run this. But the one that I got, I did a lot of part number cross-referencing and trying to make sure that I was getting the right one based on the year, and this one is a 6PK 2179, and it definitely looks shorter when I am trying to hold them up against one another. It's hard to tell really with brand new belts, because, you know, they have like all the bends in them from sitting in the box, but it definitely looks a bit shorter, so I'll have to try to verify if this is in fact the correct belt or if it is too short But the good news is this one is still in really good shape, so not too big of a deal. If I need to, then I'll go return this one to Napa or exchange it out for the proper size. But yeah, I think we're all done draining, so let's go ahead and start plugging away at pulling these hoses off and see what bolts we can get to. It's gonna be interesting, that's for sure. I've already started to crack a few of these hoses loose. The sockets, if you want to do it that way, are 9mm for the hose clamps, and you can also use a Phillips, of course. I just like doing the sockets, makes it a little faster. And just slide those out of the way. And once I get them off, I'll try to orient them in the same way they were on, just to make it easy to see where everything was going. But that one is pretty much good to go, so let's pull this one off, see how much juice we got left in here, if anything. Hopefully not much or anything at all. Good. Okay. Oh, fun. This one has one of the squeeze clamps. Yeah, I'm definitely not putting that stupid clamp back on there. Why is it on that spot? That is so just not cool. Not happening again. Yeah, I really, Mercedes, I don't know. Why do you use these things? They drive me crazy. Every single one that I encounter. I know, guys, there's a special tool you can get and blah 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 blah. This works just fine. Just use this. You don't need this. Alright guys, camera is dying. I'm not sure how much more I'm going to do right now. I might just kind of test fit some sockets in some areas to see what is going to be able to get to those 4 bolts. If I do proceed with anything, I'll catch you guys on the iPhone for a little bit until tomorrow after the camera is charged. One thing I'll get for you guys real quick, you guys can hear this. That's the pulley itself, and then walking it back and forth. So it's definitely not supposed to have that play in it. It's probably a millimeter or 2, and that noise shouldn't sound like that. What's going on, you guys? It's been a few days since we checked in with this whole water pump job. Figure I need to give you guys an update. Some really crucial things, some crucial tools that I would highly suggest, and just overall kind of what the process has been like. Let me fill you in. I was stuck for like 3 days on trying to figure out the bolt situation, but I finally figured out a solution, at least for the time being, for some of them. So we'll get to the next ones coming up, but let me show you guys what I ended up doing. All right, guys, so again, refresher, the top 2 bolts up kind of in this area, the bottom 2 down below. I actually have been able to get the top 2 out. I haven't made an attempt on the bottom ones yet, but I'm going to here shortly. Here are the bolts right here, and they're Allen's. Now, couple crucial details here, and sorry our dryer's on, so you hear that noise in the background, but the first thing is get yourself a set of ball hex head sockets instead of just the regular Allen key sockets. Reason being, you know, these are pretty stuck in there depending on how long your water pump's been on, and you can see that was from me making basically 2 regular attempts. Like I wasn't, you know, I was real careful because I thought this is a possibility of stripping, but that's me making 2 kind of normal attempts trying to get it to crack loose with the regular Allen heads. As soon as I used the ball head socket and the other very key tool, if I can find it, my son hid it somewhere, there we go. This is the clutchest tool of all right now. This is a double-headed 3/8 and quarter ratchet wrench, I guess. I don't know what you would call this. Yeah, kind of like thin ratcheting wrench, or wrenching ratcheting ratchet something.
What?
But you can get this at Harbor Freight. It's like 29 bucks or something like that. Totally worth the cost for this job. These bolts have a lot of torque on them, it looks like. So you need a good amount of leverage, which this provides. And you also need something that is a thin enough profile that it can, you know, be sitting in these areas with your extensions on it and have enough room to play. The one up here in the front is even tighter for room to work. I basically just had this and the 1/4 inch Allen socket on it. I don't know where it is right now, it's sitting somewhere, but I wasn't able to find any 1/4 inch ball socket one, so I did just have to use regular Allen. And it did end up working, but there's much better kind of spot to get leverage on with that one, and I was still pretty careful. The next up are these bottom two, so I'm gonna set you guys up on the camera and hopefully I can crack these loose while recording with you guys, because the other two, like I said, I'd literally been trying for like 3 nights, you know, coming out here for half an hour each night, trying to figure out some variation of tools that I had to be able to make this work, and I just didn't have anything in the repertoire that was really making it budge. So I ended up picking up a lot more tools. I got a bunch more extensions and all the ball head sockets and swiveling joints and all these little things that I just haven't had because we always did work at the garage with Mike, and he has every tool imaginable. So I've been slowly collecting my own stuff now. With that being said, let's go ahead and make an attempt at these bottom two. It's gonna be a lot easier if I get this thing off to show you guys, because yeah, my camera's not gonna fit in here to show you guys anyway. So I'll get you guys on the tripod and let's see what we can do. Also, shout out to the weather right now. It is 80 degrees and beautiful. Makes me so excited to be able to cruise these things soon on a consistent basis for the next, you know, 3, 4, 5 months plus. I'm excited. It's been a while. It feels like 2 different planets when you're living in Washington. It's like winter is all this dark and gray and gloomy and rainy, and then you get to spring and summer and it's like beautiful. So yeah, let's get to work. Alright guys, I think we got a spot that will work. I'll go ahead and show you guys after kind of what the setup is, but let's see if we can get this one. Jeez man, these things are no joke. But having the right tools makes a world of difference, as I already really knew, so I didn't really need to relearn that lesson, but this project definitely made me relearn that, or learn it to a whole nother extent. I didn't think it was gonna be this difficult, and really it's not now that I have the right stuff, but literally for 3 nights I was racking my brain like, how the heck am I gonna get these out without stripping them? But yeah, doing okay so far with this new set. Get this off of here. So I'll show you guys how I have this set up. So I have, there's this line coming off of the intake manifold. I don't know really what that is for, to be honest. But it's basically going right through there. If you guys can see, my extension was going right through there over to this side to keep the angle kind of where it needs to be. I have a swivel head on that extension, and then the ball hex head on the other side, and then this connection was a solid extension. So yeah, I'm gonna twist this out of here by hand, and then we'll attempt the last one. Okay guys, the Eagle has landed on number 3. Let's go ahead and go for number 4. Alright guys, so this last one of the bunch is kind of insane. It's right here, and this is angled down, so you can really not see this unless you really tuck your head down there and scope it out. I was using the mirror to try to find this, so I'm gonna see if I can get some type of combination right now to get this out of there, but it's definitely difficult. You're not gonna be able to see it without a mirror and some things to help you out. I think I am on the last one pretty good. And drop my light. Let's see if I can get this thing. Ah, yes. Yeah, you literally are just feeling by hand with this one, because you're not gonna be able to really see. Extension going right down there, basically straight across. out to the bottom power steering line that's going there. So I'm just gonna snake this out by hand. All right, last one secured. Yes. All right, I think for the most part, oh, actually we still got to do this line. But besides that, I think we're ready to pull it. Hopefully we got enough room to snake it out of here. I think we do. Alright, so we got one more regular hex head bolt. And there's an Allen down there that you can loosen up this pipe that's going to the auxiliary coolant pump down here. So what I saw, people loosened up that and then they did that one. So I don't know if that's just makes it easier to fit or what exactly, but yeah, we'll try to get that thing cracked off. Alright, if you guys can hear, we got a lot more drippage going on down below. There was some leftover water in the pump itself. So I got this side cracked from the auxiliary side. It's a 10 millimeter. So just slowly getting this off. Then I will make the call on undoing that Allen bolt as well. I'm sure I'll have to. Alright guys, so that one I just cracked is a 5 millimeter. And I don't really know if you're supposed to take it all the way off or just get it loose. But you do have room with the Allen key, luckily. I'll see if I can get it loose enough and then start spinning it by hand. Don't really have room to reach your fingers in there, unfortunately. Also, if you guys have any suggestions for like the best mechanics lights, like little LED lights, stuff like that, let me know. I like rechargeable stuff. This one's battery powered and it works pretty good, and it's magnetic, it's cool, but it's battery powered and they seem to die pretty frequently. This project is teaching my mechanic hands a whole new level of dexterity. Pretty wild, to be honest. Finally! Took a long time. Sheesh. Alright, that one I will keep. Alright guys, the anticipation. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time now. Okay, our coolant pipe is free. That means this should be able to snake out of here. Maybe. Oy. Well, we're taking that thing with it because it's not budging. Sheesh. Alright. That thing is off. O-ring is why it's so difficult to get off. Okay. Well, how do we snake this thing out of here? Like that. Okay. Oh my god, guys. What a job. Sheesh. Alright, let me dump this out. Alright, so here is my light wouldn't die. Here's what we're looking like inside of here. That pool had basically been kind of collecting from what I was seeing, and that was from the weep hole mostly. I don't think we had too severe of a leak on the actual gasketing surface, which is cool. Otherwise those bolts can get real corroded, but you can see like back there on the block there's a bit of corrosion, and I did notice like kind of the bottom edge of one of the block had a little bit of corrosion. That's probably from this just slowly weeping down over time. So we'll get this all nice and cleaned up, get it all dried up, put some touch-up paint anywhere I need to after it's kind of sealed and that part of it's blocked off. But here's what we're looking with, or here's what we're working with for the actual water pump. It is definitely
the original, it looks like. Maybe not actually. I don't know if those number stampings are date indicators, but it is a Mercedes factory part. It does have the blocked off or blanked off port over there, which can be either blanked off or not depending on which year C36 you have. Just overall, the pulley definitely has seen better days. Not supposed to be making those noises, but these should be rebuildable, so I will maybe see if I can, I don't know, crack this thing open, see what I can do, or at least send it to somewhere to be rebuilt. But that is all. Key things: you're supposed to have your what's called bushings or guides right there to kind of lead you into place. And then other key things, where that blank off plate is on this one, since mine doesn't have it and doesn't need it, I'll need to double check on the new water pump if I need to silicone gasket that, or if they already did so, I'll probably take it off just to be sure. And then everything else needs to come off to the temperature sensors, the level sensor, and this little bracket, and well, overall the thermostat housing needs to come off. And the thermostat was performing fine. I'll take a look at it once we have it open and see what kind of shape it's in, or if it's a replaced one, and make a decision if I want to replace that or not. But shouldn't really need to. It was working fine. But yeah, we'll take this off and get it all situated. So I think I'm gonna break this video into 2 parts. That way I can get this out to you guys on Saturday, and then most likely I will kind of finish everything up tomorrow night. Today is Friday, so I'll finish it up probably tonight or tomorrow night, and that way it'll all be sealed and ready for the first fire up probably Sunday, and then Monday you guys will get part 2 of the video. The key takeaways for sure are just get the right tools to make this job easy. Like literally, I would have been done with this already earlier this week if I had just gone and picked out the right selection of tools. I was just being stubborn and trying to make it work with what I had, and just didn't go my way. So definitely go pick up some type of thin profile ratcheting wrench like I showed you guys, or wrenching ratchet, whatever you want to call that thing. That thing is a great deal in my opinion. I know I'll be using that thing for lots of other stuff down the road. It's just a great like feeling tool, and lots of versatility. So and then the other thing, definitely get the hex head ball sockets or Allen sockets, whatever you want to call them. That made a world of difference in getting some actual grip and not stripping out these old bolts that were on here, old Allen head bolts. So I most likely, I'll go to the hardware store. That'll also be in part 2. I'll pick out some hardware to replace all that stuff with. There are really only, one of them was damaged. The rest of them still look pretty good. So, I could reuse them if I wanted to, but I think it's better to just go get some new stuff and throw it in there. So these ones I'll keep. I don't think there's any reason to replace these, but I might even replace these with regular hex heads. Could make things easier, although maybe I should stick with some type of Allen head because of the limited space at the bottom. I don't know if a regular socket will be able to get in. I'll have to kind of test things around. So maybe I'll get both and I'll end up using what will work. But yeah, hardware's cheap. It'll make life easier and make it easier if I needed to ever do it again down the road. So I will leave it there, you guys. Sorry we haven't been doing cool stuff or fun stuff with this car, but just really want to get it dialed in for spring and summer like I've been telling you guys, so that we can truly enjoy it and don't have to do this type of stuff in the middle of summer and kill the vibes of having fun, ripping the cars, enjoying. So that is all. I will catch you guys on part 2. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Big shout out to all that helped throughout this process. Go check out John's DIY Mercedes-Benz channel. I will link him below just as a piece of generosity, whatever I can do, because he has some really crucial, pivotal, important videos that will make your life easier working on these cars. So
yeah, shout out to you, John. And yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. So catch you guys in the next one. Peace.